My dear brothers and sisters, today I have to talk about something that has been a secret, a deep secret within my life for the last, I believe, 10 years, 11 years now. It is the most embarrassing moment of my life, the biggest aura debt moment that I've ever seen anybody go through, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, if I were to talk about just myself here, I can say from comparisons, nobody has ever told a story this bad. So this has to go down in history as the worst story that has ever happened to a man, to a human being. And I still don't know how I am alive, right? I don't know how I survived that embarrassing moment. So we have to turn back the clock a lot of years now, okay? And let's just say it may have been 2015, okay? In 2015, something happened to me that led to that moment. And it is a very, very simple situation, okay? Now, what happened was at that time, I had an iPhone 4, okay? It's an iPhone 4. And if you guys remember at that time, it was very notorious that these phones really had poor speakers, right? The speakers on those phones were really quiet. So, obviously, as you do, take a shower, you want to have some good music playing in the back, right? At that time, I was listening to music here and there occasionally, but pretty often while I was showering. And I had like a little shower cabinet, right? And we had just moved into this new house, and I was like, getting used to that little shower, to that cabinet. And I thought to myself, man, I can't hear my music while I'm showering. So guess what? I'm gonna put my phone at the top of the corner of the cabinet, right? So what I thought was that it will be a flush seal between the corner of my wall and the corner of the cabinet. Now, as I'm showering, I'm saying I'm trying to bump my music up. I can't hear it. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna put it right on the corner of the cabinet. You guys, I put it there. It literally drops to the freaking floor. Bro, there was literally like a gap between the cabinet and the corner of the wall for plumbing, right? Obviously. Oh my god, bro. Now, what followed after that was just a continuous ear beating from my dad, right? You know what I'm saying? He's like, oh, how can you be this stupid? What are you doing? Like, what the hell? Like, explain to your dad that you did something so stupid that you don't even have words for it, right? Like that's just basically how I felt, right? And I just couldn't say anything that could have made it better or anything that I could have said that could have taken that phone out, but I tried at least. I tried at that time I was doing judo. So I was like, you know what, man, I'm going to take my judo belt and I'm going to like, drop it all the way down to the bottom with like super glue, and I'm gonna like make sure that the super glue sticks to the phone, and I'm gonna pull it up, bro. I was trying everything apart from taking the freaking cabinet out of the wall, right? So, my dad tries as well. We tried like the vacuum it, bro. We tried everything. It just didn't work, right? And this is where the series of unfortunate events started to take place from my little childhood life. Like even my mid-teen life, right? I would say. And at that time, I was like, man, you know what? Forget about it, bro. I'm just gonna live without a phone for maybe however long until I get a new phone, right? And I felt so bad at that time, you know. Obviously, just regular working class, Turkish, what I'm saying, immigrants, right? So you're thinking to yourself, man, I don't know when the next phone is gonna be, but whenever it is, I'm good with it, man. So I started thugging it out without a phone for I think about maybe 4 months, 3 months, might have been something like that. And then one day, my dad was like, "You know what, man? Let's just go grab a phone, right?" So we just run to like the local Walmart or whatever. And at that time, I was just so ashamed, bro. I was like, "Bro, just get me the freaking cheapest phone there is, right?" And like this phone was literally $80. It was a Samsung phone, $80. And it was a pretty shitty phone. It didn't even have a front facing web like camera, right? It didn't even have a selfie camera, bro. So this is the beginning of the end. So this story then starts to kind of escalate now. I'm getting used to this phone now, right? I'm using this phone, and it's one of those really slow phones that sometimes, like, it just freezes, it stops. It's just really not reliable, right? But at that time, like 10 years ago, when phones still had like removable backplates, and it would be customary, right? Once in a while, when your phone started to freeze up a lot, you would just go ahead and just pull out the battery, right? Okay, keep that in mind. This is going to play back into the actual story now. So, I go to school, and at that time, I was like in sixth, eighth grade, whatever it was. And I had like a friend, right? His name was Giovanni. Now, me and Giovanni, bro, like we were in the same boat, right? Like we went from Android, like we went from iPhones. I think his messed up as well, and then we went to like straight like Dookie Androids, right? Just like whatever's gonna make you just send an SMS, pick up a phone call, just a beater phone, right? Like literally like a burner phone that drug dealers would use, right? So we were in the same boat, and we would be laughing about it, and like at that time, I was like, looking into how I could make my Android phone turn into, kind of like an iPhone, right? So one of the stories that led into it was like just me and him cracking up at the idea that like we would think that like running an iOS launcher, because like you had those like themes, right? Like Android launcher, this, whatever, right? So you had us cracking up about that, and it was just really fun to talk about that stuff, right? It was just like, kind of laughing at our like freaking, broke situation, kind of not broke, but like stupid situation, right? So one thing leads to another. Our school is planning a theater visit, right? So maybe once a year, our school would, plan a visit to the theater, and we would sit down and watch whatever show was, playing there, right? Whatever actors were pulling up. And, my entire school life, you guys, we have always sat middle or the back of the theater, right? Never the front row, never the second row. I don't know, right? I'm not too sure. Like, were the tickets more expensive? I don't think so, right? I mean, if you go to a movie theater, you don't really pay more because you want to sit at the front, right, or the back or the middle, right? It's just, you pick your freaking, your seat. Now, anyways, me and Giovanni were like cracking up, and like at that time, I was staying up late during school days. I would be going to sleep at like maybe like 3 a.m., 2 a.m., and then wake up at 7, so I was really taking the piss, right? So oftentimes I would be really tired going to school, but that was just my daily routine. And I was like, man, Giovanni, bro, like, bro, I don't want to go there, bro, and like we always have to walk there, right? It wasn't too far, maybe like a 15-20 minute walk, but we had to, do it anyway. So he's like, bro, don't worry about it, man. Like we're just gonna sit there and just listen to music, right? At that time, everybody had like wired cable still, wired earphones, earbuds, right? And I thought to myself, you know what, Giovanni, bro, like how about you and I? We're just gonna like just sit down, right? And we're gonna listen to music. Now, mind you, we didn't know that we were gonna sit front row, right? So we pull up to the, to that spot. We're listening to our songs, right? Like I think it was like Rihanna, right? Like Rihanna, "Run This Town Tonight." I think Conor McGregor was fighting Josial at the time or something like that. So like it was getting really hype, right? That song was getting popular again. And I think it was like Josial's like walkout song. Now we walk into the theater, right? And we get situated. And my teacher says, all right, guys, our school is going to sit in the front row. I'm like, what the hell? Front row? We never sat front row, bro. So I was like, hey, man, whatever, right? So maybe it's not going to be that boring, right? But like the thing is this, we had already made up our minds. We already made up our minds that we were going to sit there and listen to music with our earbuds in, right? So like he has an earpiece in and I have an earpiece in. Anyways, all of the schools come in, the entire theater gets packed out, everybody's sitting down. It's a good time, you understand? It was a good time. The show starts, right? The play starts. And it's going on for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever. It's like, an hour and a half show. And at some point, I'm looking at Giovanni. I'm like, bro, I'm getting really tired, bro. He's like, nah, bro, don't sleep, bro. Don't sleep. Don't sleep. I was like, bro, come on, bro. Don't do that to me, bro. Don't do that to me, kid. Let me sleep, kid. But he's like, nah, man, come on, man. You got to thug it out. I was like, bro, I can't do it, man. He's like, you know what, man? I was like, bro, let's just listen to music, right? You guys, this is where the story takes a dark turn. Okay. I put my earpiece in. I give the other one to him. We're listening to music. We're vibing, bro. Maybe 5 minutes go out. 10 minutes go past. 15. You know, I'm just chilling. I'm getting in my groove. I'm closing my eyes a little bit. And at some point, you guys, at some point, the freaking actor on stage quite literally walks over to me. And he's looking me dead in the eye. And I'm like, are these guys not supposed to not acknowledge the visitors? Like, they're not supposed to like make eye contact. Like, they're not supposed to break the fourth wall, right? So he looks at me, right? And I'm like, oh shit, you know, he's got my attention. And he quite literally says, if it's not interesting to you, you can get the hell out. Bro. Now, this is like some freaking white guy, right? Like, just like some nerdy ass white guy, you know what I'm saying? Goofy ass white guy. I was like, bro, there's no way this is happening to me right now. I'm 16. This guy's like, you know, growing up. This guy's like 27, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's at least like pushing his 30s. I'm like, what? I was like, what the hell's going on, right? So like, I kind of sit up. I look at him. I'm like, I'm not bothering nobody, right? I'm bothering nobody. I'm just like trying to vibe. Got my little earpiece in, right? You know what I'm saying? Closing my eyes here and there, right? I had a long night. He tells me, if you don't like it, you can get the hell up and leave. Now, you can't just leave, right? You're with your school, right? You're like, you didn't pay freaking money to get kicked out like that, right? So like, what if I were to walk out? Then what, right? Like, I'm just gonna do what exactly? Like, I'm just way outside for my class to come. It's not gonna work. I was like, what the hell's going on here? Like, I was like, what the hell is he even saying? So I look at it, like, I look over at Giovanni, and Giovanni's face is stunned. Is like, what the hell's going on here? I look over to the other side, and my teacher is looking at me, and like some other girls as well. I was like, bruh, this is bad. And I was like, this is bad, homie. I can't do this. I was like, bro, I'm losing aura by the minute. And then he's like, so what are you gonna do? I'm like, what's going on here? He's like, start watching. I was like, I am. No, you're not. You're listening to music. I was like, okay, I am. He's like, take it off. I'm like, bro, what is going on here? Like, this guy's like making me do stuff. He's demanding stuff. He's like making me freaking move. You know what I mean? He's making me take out the freaking earpieces. I'm like, what the hell, Leonte, is this? So, nonetheless, I was like, hey, man, homie, big homie, chill, right? Right? He's like, take the music out. I was like, all right, cool, right? Guys, I unplug, right? I unplug the earbuds from my phone. Now, this is the point that I want you guys to maybe understand, right? When you pull out your earphones out of your phone, whatever, right? The music is supposed to stop, right? Whatever is playing, it pauses. That's what usually happens. But this time, you guys, it did not. It did not, right? I unplug it, and I remember it. I was playing the music off of iTunes for Android. And the music keeps playing. We're gonna lose this town tonight. Hey. Now, mind you, bro, this guy's been already talking to me for like a minute or like maybe 1 or 2 minutes. He already stopped the freaking play. I've never seen anything like this before, right? Even when like people were heckling, the actor is not supposed to break kayfabe, okay? The music is playing. Everybody's like starting to like look around, like, cause like at first people didn't really know who that guy was talking to, right? Because the theater is dark, right? You can't really see. And all of a sudden, I can hear people moving in their seats, whispering, oh, yeah, it's that guy, it's that guy. I'm like, bruh, this is horrendous. I'm like, Giovanni, bro, what? Right? So as the music is keeping on playing, I'm panicking, right? So I'm pressing like the down volume, right? I'm pressing the down volume on my freaking phone. But it's the freaking $80 crappy Android, my brothers and sisters. It didn't freaking respond. How does music not volume down when you press volume down? It didn't, though. It didn't. And my brothers and sisters, my heart sank to my fucking asshole, bro. I swear to God, I was like, bruh. And like the girls were freaking looking at me and laughing. I'm like, oh my God. This is not happening. Right? And like I was pressing like down. I was like, bro, please don't make me pull out the fucking battery. Don't make me pull out the battery. I was like, nah. Don't do it to me, man. It stopped responding. I tried to open up the phone, right? You know what I'm saying? Tap it open. I tried to press like the freaking pause button on my phone. The freaking phone started to glitch out, bro. It freaking started to freeze on me while the music is playing. The music plays for a good 25, 30 seconds, bro. You know what I'm saying? Rihanna, she's like popping the freaking vocals, man. You know what I'm saying? Jay-Z's getting in the mix. I was like, bro, I was like, nah. I was like, fuck. I turned over the phone. I took off the back plate. I took off the battery, bro, and I was like, oh my god, no, I didn't just do that, bro. Not in front of the freaking window. I'm like, nah, bro, not in front of everybody, bro. First row, I'm getting flamed by this freaking whack-ass actor. I'm getting freaking embarrassed. Giovanni's trying to, like, disassociate, bro. Like, he's already giving back the freaking earbuds. He's already shocked, stunned. He's already freaking embarrassed as it is. And I'm taking the freaking 10x on this, bro. I'm like, no way this is happening to me, right? And then, bro, this guy's like, haha. He scoffs, bro. He fucking scoffs at me, He scoffs at me. He scoffs at me. And then he's like, now you're gonna pay attention. Bruh, I looked around. My teacher, her face is like dropping to the ground. The girls are like giggling and laughing. I look over my shoulder. My friends are just dying of laughter. I look over at Giovanni. Giovanni's like so freaking embarrassed to be even associated with me at that point. I was like, I don't know what's going on right now. And then, bro, that was the most silent I've ever been in my life. The most locked into that stupid freaking play that I've ever been locked into. And I swear to God, bro, I was considering literally calling up my brothers, calling up whoever the hell, plant them at the freaking exit of the theater and jump his ass, bro. Right? But the damage was so colossally bad that no amount of revenge could redeem the aura loss. Right? Now, this is from my perspective. Okay? This, from my perspective, is the worst thing that could ever happen to a human. Right? This aura loss is generational. But if we're going to be completely honest here, right? And if you're just like some guy sitting at the back of the theater, this might have been a minute or 2 minute, 3 minute freaking interaction, which was weird. But, you know, it's not that big of a deal because you're not really seeing what's going on. But the person that's living it, it's the end of the world, right? It's the worst thing that could ever happen to you. And my brothers and sisters, this is a freaking reminder, guys. Whatever you do, don't lose aura. Don't make the mistakes I did. I swear to God, bro, if it wasn't for me being shocked at him breaking the fourth wall, I would have been like, bro, just shut up, man. You're just goofy, right? But like him breaking the fourth wall came at me such like it's like, bro, like imagine you're watching a TV show and suddenly like the actor's literally talking to you. Like you're literally FaceTiming with the actor. Like what the hell's going on here? Like, whoa. So it's like, if had that not taken me back a little bit, I would have talked. I was like, man, shut your goofy ass up. Keep acting, bro. You know, goofy ass, man. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I would have like browned out a little bit. But because it all just happened so abruptly, so suddenly, it just took me off like, you know, it just took me by surprise, my brothers and sisters. I was like, bro, this is insane. So I just couldn't do, you know, like I just followed instructions. I just lost all the aura. I just didn't know what to do. And, me and Giovanni, bro, the moment we walked out, bro, I swear to God, bro, we laughed our asses off, bro. Like, it was so horrendous, bro. He just couldn't help but feel bad. But it was funny, though, right? Like, because the thing is this. We were always poking fun at the phone being that crappy. You know, like the eye launcher and the freaking camera and this and the battery, pull it out, yada, yada, yada. But for that to happen, you know, after all that fun stuff that we talked about, you know, like the funny stuff, like, oh my God, you know, pull out the battery, like all the memes we made about the phone, and for that to happen on that day, it was just meant to be funny, bro. So that was the biggest oral loss I've ever had in my life. I don't know how many people remember this. I know he remembers it, but this was just something that I've really buried in my freaking heart. And I just had to be like, hey, man, you know, someday I just got to talk about it. But maybe I'm blowing it out of proportion, but quite literally, bro, when you're in that moment, it's the worst thing that could ever happen to a dude, bro. Like it's just literally the worst, right? Like you look around, your teacher's face is dropping, like, oh my god, what the hell is he doing front row like this? Like, you know what I mean? Could nobody else sit at front row? All the freaking girls are laughing, all the freaking homies are laughing, like they're out. You know what I mean? Like I can hear them like freaking kicking my. I can hear them like, you know what I mean, kicking my freaking chair. I'm like, bro, like, like kicking it's not gonna make it faster, bro. You know what I mean? So. Yeah, I really died of embarrassment that day, so I don't really know how I recovered from it. But yeah, I haven't really told the story. I mean, the people that were there, they know, but I've never really told the story to laugh at it publicly like this. So yeah, I mean, it was really funny for me to do, make this video, and yeah, just share in the comment section down below any really embarrassing stories you have, and maybe you're gonna make it onto the next video. But as always, guys, this is the first video of the Heels Corner. More videos like this, other videos like this are on the way. Topical gaming news, whatever it might be, topical gaming slash, like topical comma gaming comma news, not gaming news. Like I don't really care about gaming news. But yeah, I'm out.